Greetings, fellow travelpreneurs, and welcome to the first episode of the Travelpreneur Club, where I interview inspiring travelpreneurs from around the world and tell you their story of starting, launching, and growing their own location-independent business. Now let the journey begin. Today I feel honored to have Pierre Blake with us for our first episode. Pierre is the founder of PierreBlake.com, where he writes about luxury travel, food, and lifestyle. His visually captivating photos, creative writing, and GQ swag have amassed him a significant following on social media, with more than 6,000 Facebook page likes, 33,000 Instagram followers, and 51,000 Twitter followers. This large cult of raving fans has thoroughly enjoyed following Pierre as he eats his way around the world in style and shares his incredible travel experiences with his audience. Pierre, welcome to the Travelpreneur Club, my friend.
Thanks for welcoming me, Drew. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. I'm glad to have you here. And, I gave a little brief intro, but tell us a little more about yourself and fill in any details that I may have missed.
Well, you pretty much hit it on the head, especially with the GQ swag. But basically, I just am traveling around the world and learning about different cultures. I think a great way to learn about cultures and people is to look at what they eat, and I'm obsessed with food, so that's basically what I'm doing.
Very cool. So I'm sure you kind of already have an idea of what a travelpreneur is, being one yourself, but I would like to give you our definition of what we believe it is defined as. A travelpreneur is a traveling entrepreneur that believes in building location-independent businesses that allow them complete control and freedom over their lifestyle. So Pierre, what do you do that makes you part of the Travelpreneur Club?
Well, I have always been into traveling, and I've always tried to make it into a business of some sort that allows me to be able to travel. And before I got into the whole blogging thing, I was already traveling a lot. I visited 20 countries. And at the time, I was based in Bangkok before I started the blog. And I did all sorts of different types of work that just allowed me to live abroad, basically. Eventually, I realized that I wanted to focus specifically on traveling and food and turn only that into a business. And luckily, I found out about blogging and all that comes along with it to help make some income and allow me to continue living the lifestyle that I really wanted to live.
Okay, very cool. And I think a lot of us are in the same boat, and we can learn a lot from you. Sorry. So what made you take the leap into working for yourself and traveling around the world? And why not join corporate America? Earn a nice salary, make the morning commute every day, and live in the suburbs with your family. That sounds like a pretty good life, no?
No.
And why not? What steers you away from that normal life?
Well, it all started back when I took an exchange semester in Bangkok back in 2009. Before that, I was really shy, and I didn't do much traveling, and that semester abroad really pushed me out of my comfort zone and gave me this confidence I needed to step out and pursue what I really wanted to do, which was the traveling and exploring the world. When I was in Bangkok, I came across, have you heard of the 4-Hour Workweek?
Of course, Tim Ferriss. I think a lot of people have, he's inspired many, many travelers and travelpreneurs.
Yeah, and about that same time, I came across that book. And combining what I learned from his book and life at the time, which was pushing me, I was struggling to do the most basic things, but I had to do them to survive. Mm-hmm. So I had to, approach people that I wouldn't have normally approached, and everything was brand new living in a foreign country. So that helped me gain some confidence and gave me this ability to travel and just kind of pursue exactly what I wanted to do and not be scared of, failing. In the book, it talks about imagining the worst case scenario. What if you failed at something? What would be the worst, possible outcome? And most of the time you realize it's not that bad.
It's never that bad. Exactly. I mean, the worst case scenario, you move back home and you start from square one, and you set your goals again, and you'll be back to where you want to be eventually. So that's great. So when you would say this change in mentality towards entrepreneurship and towards freedom, was that you said that kind of occurred when you were in Bangkok, when you did that study abroad?
Yeah, I was already an entrepreneur at the time, but during that time specifically, I was like pretty shy. I mean, I think I knew you a little bit before that time. And I don't know, I was a little bit more reserved, but I feel like after that situation, it gave me the courage and everything I needed to pursue the business that I really, really wanted to.
Very good. So at this point, I mean, when did you start your blog? You said about a year and a half ago, more or less?
A year and a half to 2 years ago now.
Okay. So, I mean, you've already kind of established yourself in your blog and your following. So how are you able to travel long-term and build your own business? I mean, do you have enough revenue generated now to support the lifestyle that you want?
Well, like I said, I've been an entrepreneur for a long time. So since I was like about 9 years old, I think, I've been doing some sort of business to generate some money. So I started selling candy when I was just a little kid. Mm-hmm. And ever since then, I've been saving money, doing different things, selling shoes on eBay, shooting music videos, as you know. Everything under the sun. I was always buying and selling something. And so I was able to save up some money. And before I started the blog, I had saved up a bit of money through a marketing business that I had. And it kind of gave me a cushion. So I've been able to kind of figure out what it takes to monetize the blog without feeling like squeezed that I'm going to run out of money or something. So it was nice to have a little bit to tide me over until I get the full income from just the blog.
Definitely. I mean, I know now as well, I mean, you review a lot of hotels, a lot of restaurants and stuff. Are they offering you, expense paid trips in terms of, covering their properties or, reviewing about them? Or, I mean, is that something you feel comfortable talking about?
We can talk about it a little bit. It usually ends up being some sort of a partnership. It could be a paid thing, or it could be some sort of a trade for media coverage. But what it comes down to is that I'm an asset to them because I have this huge following of really targeted people that are very interested in travel and trying out new restaurants and whatnot. So having them being promoted on my channels really helps boost their business.
Definitely. Very cool. So I would say you're pretty successful so far in terms of your blog. I know you want to grow a lot more, and you have a lot more that you want to do with this brand that you're creating, which is yourself. But what has been the greatest factor that you attribute to your success thus far?
The factor that I would have to say gave me the ability to do this is realizing how short life is. Like, a blink of an eye and a few years they just go by. They're out the window, and there's no way we can get that back. So I would rather focus my time on building experiences and focusing on experiences rather than building wealth that's, in the long term, it's less valuable to me.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
That's a great answer as well. That's a really good answer. And I'm sure you've had many difficult times, like along your entrepreneurial journey, your personal journey. Moments when you arrived to a new country for the first time and you felt completely lost, or when you missed home so much that you're willing, honestly, just to give it all up. Take us to that moment. Share with us how you overcame that adversity to arrive to the point where you are today.
Well, basically, like what I said before, I was kind of shy before, so I was restricted in a lot of the things that I would do. And it took me a while, but I realized that the only limiting factor to anything that I ever wanted to do was myself. Mm-hmm. Once I was able to figure that out and realize that if I don't do some work that I want to do, or don't approach a business that I need to make something happen, that I'm just going to stagnate. So once I realized that I am in control of everything, I can dictate my own future. once I learned that, that was like the factor that just helped me put everything into perspective and become more successful in, the goals that I was trying to accomplish.
Okay. And speaking about goals, as you mentioned, it's a new year, 2016, I know you're on the hustle grind mode right now. What is your number one goal for this new year, and how do you plan to accomplish it?
Well, the last 2 years or so that I started the blog, I was basically testing a lot of things. So now I've realized that the business model works and it allows me to do all of these things that I wanted to do. This year is just to put that all into practice even further. And so I've already visited 30 countries, like I said, but this year I plan to do 20 to 30 more.
Wow.
Just this year. I can totally, no problem, I can handle it. I set up my first airline partnership, so that's cool. But basically the traveling to the 20 or 30 more countries is the goal for this year.
And what's the one you're most looking forward to, you would say, on that list?
Well, I don't know, but my interests change all the time. Okay. So in the past, I was never interested in Eastern Europe, but all of a sudden I'm really interested in Eastern Europe and checking out places like Russia and just places. For some reason in the past I was never interested, but now they're so different from what we're used to that I would like to step out of my comfort zone and see what they have to offer.
Okay. So I'm just going to kind of close it up now. Thank you so much for joining us today. I truly do appreciate your time, and I have a tremendous amount of respect for what you've accomplished so far. And I know I'm not the only one looking forward to seeing what the future has in store for you and for your location-independent business. And before we let you go, I just want you to share with us one parting piece of wisdom for all the aspiring travelpreneurs out there, that are kind of stuck of, should I do this, or how do I do this, and then how can we connect with you as well, and then we'll say goodbye.
Okay. The final piece of wisdom that I think is key to a lot of this is realizing that, even though we all have these dreams, fear is the thing that keeps us in our places a lot of the time and not stepping out to get what we really want to get accomplished. So I just feel that stepping out of your comfort zone to realize that things are not as difficult as they may have seemed in the past, and gain that confidence that you need to push the limits. And that's when life is the most fulfilling to me, is when I accomplish something new. I do something I didn't think I could do in the past. But it all starts with baby steps. You have to, talk to that like hot girl walking down the street. You gotta, travel to places you wouldn't have thought to travel. Like they seem maybe not dangerous places, not too crazy, but places that are a little bit, push you to do something you haven't done before. You'll learn a lot about yourself, what you like, and the world. And you'll get over those fears that you had, and then you'll be able to accomplish all of the dreams and aspirations that you had prior to getting over those fears. To get in touch with me, my Twitter handle is Pierre Blake, as well as my Instagram, Facebook. The website is pierreblake.com. I just want to thank you too for reaching out for the interview. It's been great.
My pleasure, man. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you so much for watching today's episode. It would mean the world to me if you would subscribe below and share this video with a friend that you think it would help. If you'd like this interview in audio format, you can click above right there to subscribe on iTunes or Stitcher. And don't forget to head on over to thetravelpreneurclub.com for more inspirational content that'll help you begin your journey as a travelpreneur. Until next time, take care, my friends.